Hello, everyone. I hope that you are loving the new year. And when we think of new things, we can start to take the ideas that we've been having for years back to the forefront. So maybe you've shoved them on the back burner and you've decided it's time now to look at some of those intuitive ideas that Spirit gave you and actually take action on them. So today we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship for those of you who already have a business but need to pivot, or for those of you who want to start your spiritual business. So, as you may already know, Spiritual Business Incubator is open again this year. We open it once a year and applications are open. We're going to be talking with some of my previous students inside of Spiritual Business Incubator, talk about where they are now, where they were, what's going on in their life. And one of the reasons we do this is for inspiration, because you might see me, you're probably familiar with me, reading the emails, seeing my posts. You also might be familiar with other people you follow. However, sometimes we need to hear it over and over again from different people in different industries to finally see that you can start your own business as well. You might just have an idea. You might feel a calling, but you're not sure exactly how it's going to look. Well, one of the things that I say is that you don't have to have it all together to launch it. This is why I love teaching people step by step and knowing that it's never going to feel 100% perfect. As an entrepreneur, you are an experimenter, you're an investigator, you get to explore, and it's an adventure. It's fun. So if you've been thinking, I have to have every single thing down before I feel like I can do it, I want to tell you, you don't, because sometimes that's heavier energy. And just start with your idea first and follow what feels really good. So, we're going to be hearing from my students inside of Spiritual Business Incubator, and you can apply for Spiritual Business Incubator over at messengerspirit.com/SBI. It's right below me inside of this video. And I'm so excited to share stories. If you have a question for one of our students, let us know so we can ask them and they can answer it for you. So, without further ado, I cannot wait to share this with you. All right, I'm going to ask our first student to come up here, and I'm going to invite Christy to our live stream. So, hi, Christy, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Whitney. Thank you for having me. I am so happy to be here.
I'm really happy that we were able to chat today as well. I know that before you took Spiritual Business Incubator, you already had a business and you wanted to pivot. Can you tell everybody a little bit about what your business looked like before taking the program and also why you wanted to pivot? I think that's important. Sometimes we just bypass the why, or we think we can't do it. So could you share a little bit more about your story?
Yes, absolutely. So I have been a massage therapist with a small business of my own for over 20 years now. I love what I do. I was not online. I didn't even have an Instagram account, and it was all word of mouth. I'm old fashioned in the sense of word of mouth is the best marketing. So that's where you see where I started. Um, Something around 2 years ago happened, and the why I felt like I needed to pivot um, was more of a feeling. And I didn't have an answer of why I wanted to, but I felt the call to shift. And I had been doing healing for so many years. I'm also a Reiki master. I felt like I wanted to teach people how to heal themselves. It's great having someone to go to, but teaching transformation hit me a few years ago. Like, I have to do this. How do I do that? And I thought, well, I've got to get into this online world. And I knew nothing about it. And oh yeah, I'm a spiritual person, and I wanna intertwine that. And so I started looking up options online, and I found the Intuition Abundance Academy, and I thought, oh, great way to brush up my spirituality and my connection and my intuition and my language. And when I saw that it could be combined with the business part that I knew absolutely nothing about, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and my world is healing and helping people. That's ultimately why I decided. I don't have a specific answer. I had a feeling that I wanted to do more, and I knew nothing about it. I had to get an expert. And then when I found you, you're an expert in something that I love, the connection with spirituality and energy. And combined with everything that goes along with business that I knew nothing, absolutely nothing about. And it was during your course that I just pulled up my first Instagram. I made my first Instagram account. I created since then, I have two Facebook groups, one of which has 80 women. The other has 179, I believe. So once you get in it, the blend of spirituality and the need to know business was such a synergist blend that was to perfection for me.
Mm.
And I always felt safe because I could come to you for any advice, whether it be spiritual or business. And I really, through this program, created a completely brand new business. So I did pivot and shift. I still am doing the hands-on, but not as much. But it's thank you. Yes, but it's really a whole new business of its own. I started from zero when I walked
Mm.
in the doors when you had the doors open the last time, and that was the best decision that I've made for myself and for my business, which is my baby. I have a human baby that I birthed, but my business is my other baby. And yeah.
Thank you. That really is, I think, so helpful for people to understand because you wanted to pivot, but you did. You started a completely different business. So you were seeing your clients hands-on, which you said you still are doing, but not as much because you're making that transition into this other business that you started full time. And I think that a lot of people will say, this is why I don't want to do it because I feel like it's too hard. So, can you share with people how you made it happen while still working a full time business and creating and pivoting into something completely different?
Yes, it is. I will say it's not hard, it's easy. It just is time consuming. But when you have this passion for a new creation of an online business or whatever business you're doing, a new creation of a business, you're so excited that you get through your workday, you were going to do that anyways. You have this newfound, at least I did, energy of creation, and it's a new spark. And I don't know where that energy came from, but it led me through the entire time. And because I was successful in my previous business, but knew that there needed to be a transition throughout the entire process through my intuitive language, I asked for a clean, it was also a safe move because I've even just talked to my husband this morning about clients that I've had for over years, over 12 years. One is moving to Arizona. There's things happening that I asked for when I started creating this new part of my business. Um, Everything starts to fall into place when you are aligned. So the hard extra work, I can't do it, was never an issue because it was the right thing for me.
I love that. It's like following your intuition, following what you know that your energy is yearning for and where you need to go. All those excuses will tend to fall away when you're kind of magnetized. You just know it. I remember when I started my business, I was working a full-time job, really like 12 hours a day. And I would come home, and at the time I had to make my own website, and I just would go for hours, right, making a website. And I loved it. It's time consuming, but I felt so lit up by that. And it's good to hear you say the same thing. It's a spark, it's a passion. It's fun. It turns into being fun. And I think sometimes we're conditioned to think that business is boring,
Right.
where I feel like business is fun. And combining the energy piece to it with the logical marketing of what needs to happen I think is really key. So you can do all the steps that I tell you to do, but if you're not feeling energetically aligned to it, or your energy is not in the right place, you're not going to see the results. When you are combining that energetic piece, like you were telling me right before we jumped on today that you wanted to do one of the meditations and the program this morning. And when you are setting your intentions, when you are working on your own spiritual abilities, you also attract clients that are going to want to do the same. And I think you've probably noticed that in your business, like some similarities of, oh yeah, I just learned that, or oh yeah, I can see a theme here as people are coming in. And did you just launch your program, or are you launching your program this month?
Okay, so going from absolutely nothing, no, not even an IG account. I didn't even know what IG stood for. This coming up week, Monday, the 16th, for a full week, I'm running a free course. It's called Spirituality Springboard. And I would take all of the free courses. And now I get to be the person offering the free course. So I'm in official launch mode because I will be opening up my doors for my Soul Compass Code's 9-week transformation program in February. So it really went from when I say nothing, just doing it. The easiest part, you lay it out so easy. The business part, I can follow rules. I'm a rule follower. I just did what you told me to do and filled up the rest of the time with the fun stuff. And now
Mm.
I'm launching, I'm offering a full week, and I'm so grateful I get to be the one. And speaking of the soulmate clients, starting to do that work in the program, I was getting calls from new clients in completely different vibrations than I ever had in the past. It was unbelievable. I didn't know, I knew what was going on because I was doing it. I just couldn't believe the results. It was nuts. It still is. I have a new client tomorrow morning. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think that speaks to do the work, right? Do the energy piece of it as well. So you were talking about soulmate exercise, which we have inside a spiritual business incubator, and we've added so much this year than we had in the previous years. So I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite part of the program?
Oh my gosh. Well, I absolutely needed the business section, so that was a must-have. I had to have that. So that's my favorite part because I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for that. But my most favorite was figuring out my secret sauce,
Yeah.
my genius of the fact that my soul obsession is spirituality, and my divine superpower is creation and transformation through energy. It was transformational work during the business program was my favorite part. I learned so much about myself that
Mhm.
just is carrying over into my actual business, which is why it's becoming so successful. I have 35 women who I don't even know signed up for the course next week.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. I mean, I know that you created your logo, you changed your name, so much work went into it, but also I know that you've been showing up, and I see you online and your work, and that's really where it's at. You're showing up. You're putting your energy out there. And what I really love too is that in Spiritual Business Incubator, and you spoke to it a little bit, I really feel that everybody has to make their own business unique. And that's what Chrissy's talking about with her special sauce or secret sauce, where it's, everyone could be a Reiki practitioner, but what makes getting a session, with someone specifically unique? What is their secret sauce? So I really, really love that. So you said, I'm going to ask you, because Anna Sui did our guest expert training inside of the program. And for everybody watching, she's on the podcast this week. She talks about your superpower and your genius. And you talked about your genius with spirituality. So in a sentence, this is a surprise question. In one sentence, what do you feel like your secret sauce is?
My secret sauce is the ability to transform something into abundance.
That's so great.
Transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, transformation. So tell us a little bit about, you were a massage therapist and still are, but you're really moving quite quickly into a full-time business. Can you just share with everybody the name of your business? And if you want to say that you have a title, what would you call yourself in that business?
Yes. So my business now went from just me being a sports massage therapist to Thrive Wellness by Christy. Um, my job title is I really am a soul alignment life purpose coach.
Yeah.
And of course, a Reiki master energy healer. And I am starting to move into the transformation queen realm that I am destined for. And so I feel that my title will be shifting here soon, probably once my program starts. But that's the beauty of this. And I want to touch on two things that you had said. Get out there. Well, I got out there because you told me to.
I'm glad you listened.
Yes. So it worked. So I did that because you told me to. When you were talking about branding, I had no clue about branding. I created my colors and all of my branding off of your suggested guidance on one of your meditations, tapping in. And that's when it is born from within you, it can't be wrong. It
Mm.
feels so right. Yeah.
I love that. I definitely think we have to love our business. And so it all starts with, do we love the do we love the colors? Do we love what we're going to be doing? Or are we just going to do this because we think it's going to work? So really tying in and living your purpose through your business. So if there's anyone out there that you were chatting with that said, gosh, should I do this? What advice would you give them? And it may not even be about the program, just in general, if they're saying, I'm thinking about starting my business. Do you have any advice for me?
Yeah. Two things that come up. I had two intuitive hits, but first, do it. Nothing's going to change between now and a year from now of you wanting to do it,
Yeah.
except that you're going to be in the same. I mean, nothing is going to change. Just do it. But mainly, if you're wondering about the cost, because like I was, there is an unbelievable way that the universe supports you. You physically take the action to figure it out. Just figure it out. Like I did. I had to shift some stuff around. Don't let finances get in your way, because you saving for a year, we are creatures of habit. If we don't change something, you're going to be in the same financial situation a year from now, even if you think you're going to squirrel away for this program next year. Do it now. Don't wait. Figure out the financials. It comes back to you and
Mm.
more, really. If you want to get
It's quite interesting. First off, I always say if there's somebody just really struggling, with their bills, don't enroll in the program. It'll cause too much stress. But with what you're saying, I have seen time and time again when you know that you're really supposed to do something in your gut, right? You're making that from your intuition. And I talk about this with friends too. We've all seen it. The universe has a way of shifting things around for you, where you want a certain amount to invest, or you want to manifest a trip or whatever it is, and it's like you put the money or you put the energy into it, and then the universe comes back around and takes care of you with that. So anyway, thank you for sharing about that. It's a really cool thing that happens. It just does. But again, always recommend everybody follow their intuition. But thank you so much, Christy, for sharing your story. Congratulations on your business. I love seeing you out there and the success that you have. And I know that you're going to shift and transform so many people who are attracted to your energy, and keep doing that meditation, that exercise as more people come through. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we just talked to Christy. Christy was a massage therapist, pivoted her business for transformation coaching. So much success has happened with her in less than a year. So, Spiritual Business Incubator is our 6-month program this year. However, we know that you can continue to go back and look at the lessons. And the great news is we update the lessons and you get lifetime access to it. So even in 3 years, you can go back and rewatch something, or we may have updated it so it's relevant to you. And so now you're be hearing from one of my prior students, Melina Crawford, and she was in the program last year. So if she actually has access to the new updated program this year, if she wanted it, but Elena, I cannot wait to have you on. I'm going to invite you and pull you up right here. Melena, thanks for being here. It's so nice to see you and connect with you again. And I can't wait to hear about your business.
It's
But,
so good to be here.
oh, thank you. I remember I talked to you on Instagram when the first time that we were enrolling, and I know you're going back and forth with it. So, can you share with everybody, if you remember, what you were thinking before you decided to enroll in Spiritual Business Incubator and what your business looked like and where you were?
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm going back 3 years actually. Um, so I remember I was really fearful, but I trusted Whitney. I was like, okay. And as soon as the opportunity came out, I knew it was for me. I was like, okay, this is it, spirit. I'm going in. Um, I have been in spiritual life coaching for several years. That's actually how I met you with Ayanla. So it's been I I don't doubt my skill, but I still had a huge issue with hiding and just lack of confidence when it came to the marketplace. So I felt overwhelmed. I'm also multi passionate. A multi-passionate entrepreneur. So I felt all over the place, lack of clarity, and then of course the hiding and the self-sabotage piece. So yeah, I felt all of those things, but I knew in my heart, like Whitney knows what she's doing. What she has in store is really going to be a blessing for me and the women that I end up serving.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So you were already in having your business.
Mhm.
What kind of spoke to you to say, I really want to take this program? I know you knew it, but
Mhm.
was there something you were searching for in the business that you had that you wanted? Like you wanted a change, and what was that change?
Yeah, so I knew that what I wanted was to know how to tap into my own intuition when it came to business. I knew that there were a lot of practical pieces that a lot of other coaches talk about, but the missing piece for me was the spirit, the link to spirit, the link to my inner wisdom. And so that's what I wanted to come out and really getting to the heart of why I'm here in the marketplace, what I have to offer, and connecting with my soulmate client. And I knew I could only get that with spirit.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that. I would love for you to speak a little bit about your messaging. I remember we worked on that messaging and you were chatting with Tori, who is one of our guest experts inside the program too. So can you share with us a little bit about that journey and how you got the clarity that you needed?
Yes, of course. So before, my messaging was what I thought it should be. My messaging was what I thought a coach should sound like, and it wasn't me. It was kind of sterile, kind of, okay, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't get your heart and soul. So during that work with Tori and really understanding like soul level copywriting, what your client really needs to hear and understand about you to know if they're even a fit, that was like night and day change. Like, stop writing like you think you need to sound, and write from the heart and
Mhm.
tell them the truth and tell them what you offer in a way that they will get it on a heart level, and it made the world of difference.
And so you had to get a little vulnerable, right? In order
Mhm.
to do that.
Very
And
much.
how did that feel finally saying, I'm going to write from the heart? how did that transform you on a personal basis? But sounds like it also transformed your business as well.
Most definitely. So it really it was one of the many ahas that I had during SBI. Writing from your heart, speaking the truth, not just in the copywriting, but in your content all throughout, being authentic.
Yeah.
Um, that's the crux of the exchange that you're having with another soul, is being authentic. This is who I am. This is what I've been through. I don't care whose eyes rest on this page. This is what I've been through. This is who I am. And I feel like that the synergy that comes is all the effort, like let me get all these colors together and let me get the language, that goes away. And it makes it so much easier for clients to come to you, for opportunities to come to you. And I can talk about those later as well, but just attracting the eye of who needs to see and hear you. Yeah.
Mhm. And I feel like when we do that,
Mm-hmm.
our vibration really expands and we do attract those people into our world that are those soulmate clients that are the perfect fit for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one of the big hurdles sometimes, and you can speak to this as well, is that sometimes we feel like we have to please everybody that's going to read the page, or like you said, we have to write like we were taught in school or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or how you saw another coach write it.
yeah, yeah, it's like I have to really put my authenticity out there and recognize that I'm not going to be for everyone, but I will be attracting the people that I am meant to help when I am
Exactly.
who I am.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more of the opportunities and what has happened in your business since taking Spiritual Business Incubator.
Yeah, so a lot of it. So being authentic has attracted media to me. I've had a lot of opportunities to be on television, opportunities to be on podcasts, all of that good stuff. And it's just because they heard what they needed to hear.
Mhm.
They saw what they needed to see, and that was the real Melina.
Yeah.
So it just also released so much stress for me. And I'm a Virgo type A type of personality. And that's another thing that I want to talk about, my favorite parts, some of my favorite parts. It was letting that perfectionism go and really just I am, like I've been saying, I am who I am, and letting the blessings flow as a result. Yeah, it
Mhm.
really it just attracts opportunity, and it makes it better for everyone. It really blesses everyone. Yeah.
I love that. It
Mhm.
kind of takes away that shell, that we're all trying to get through and just opens up opportunity for new, authentic, real connection, which I
Right.
really love. And I will say, looking at all these amazing opportunities you've had, I know you were recently on TV. Every time I turn around, I feel like you've got a new opportunity coming your way. Um, I will say from the outside looking in,
Mhm.
it looks like you have no problem with confidence. So where are you on that journey? I know you had some trouble with it in the beginning. Where do you feel now?
Yeah, so one of my favorite parts of SBI was when we talked about our shadow and
Mhm.
really embracing that. And I have taken that everywhere with me. Um, so one thing Anna said was, because one of my things was visibility. I don't want to post anything because it's not perfect enough. And she was just like, say it. If it's on your mind, say it. If it's on your heart, say it. If it's something that you're going through, share it.
Yeah.
And so I've taken that everywhere with me since then. Like it's really okay. And it really it's part of the plan. It's part of your business plan, you know?
Mhm.
So my confidence is high. I'm yeah, I think I feel I'm in the right place at the right time all the time. And
Love it.
so, yeah. And so I have to express what I need to express.
I
Hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
So you said that there were other favorite parts of the program. Can you speak a little bit about that as well?
Okay. So I have so many. So one of them was, I can't remember her name, but she talks about copywriting as well.
Hmm. Zafira.
Zafira. Yes. How could I forget such a beautiful name? Just it was momentarily, Zafira, momentarily. Um, yeah, talking about, I loved how we talked about our secret sauce. I loved how we tapped into who we are. First of all, I
Mhm.
learned so much about myself, the personality type, the soul type, the way that I express, the way that I work,
Mhm.
and then blending that with who my soulmate client is. And so moving from that huge body of self knowledge into the marketplace. So now I know this is a message that I want, to share. I know these are the images that I want to share, and it's all in alignment.
Mm.
I think that is the one of the most beautiful things about this program is that it gets you into alignment. And for me, alignment equals ease.
Mm.
Alignment equals ease.
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah, when everything lines up from my inside out, like it just became so much more easy.
Mm. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
I feel like one of the best spiritual tools is starting your own business because you do learn through so much things. You
Mhm.
learn about yourself and you do embrace the shadow, and
Mhm.
it's this entire transformation.
Yeah.
And you've talked about it. You were in business before you took the program,
Mhm.
and it's an ever evolving, but what's really great is it sounds like, everything's in alignment and you're just
Mhm.
amplifying it, which
Right.
is beautiful. Can you share a little bit about what your business looks like now and what you do and the name of your business?
Yes. So you talked about pivoting just before me. And so that's one of the things that I did for 2023. So one of the things that we learned is tapping into your passion, your secret sauce, the things that turn you on. And one of mine is personal style and beauty and all that stuff. So I allowed myself to join that with personal development. So
Mm,
right now, I'm introducing a service where I help women align both their personal style and their spiritual blueprint and yeah, make transformation. So I'm super excited about that. And I feel like the program gave me the nudge. Like, yes,
mm.
do it. Bring your full self to your business.
I love that.
Mhm.
Now, I know that you're a best-selling author. Are there any other books on the way?
Um, oh boy, there are. So everyone asked me about the sequel. Yes, the sequel is coming to A Fistful of Honey. And also, I'm doing a nonfiction book. So, talking about how the guide to exquisite freedom and joy. How do
Mm,
you get that day after day, especially after trauma? So,
mm. That's
yes,
beautiful.
it's doesn't have a full title yet, but it's on its way in 2023.
I love it. I do remember when we were working with your messaging, one of the things you experienced is that you really like to see the beauty and things.
Mhm.
And I love that you are tying all those things together and you're really clear and where
Mhm.
you're going, where your
Mhm.
business is headed, and that is part of your knowing. And that's very authentic because I remember it was like, but that's what I really love. And you're still doing it with that authenticity. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes, I'm so grateful.
So I do have two questions for you.
Mhm.
One is, if there's anyone out there that had that fear,
Mhm.
what would your advice be to help them shift out of the fear?
You're gonna have to trust and surrender. And if SBI is you know that it's your next step, Put the fear aside and just move forward.
Mm.
Put the fear aside and just have faith. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
just have to do it. Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
really, I think, what it boils down to is that we can think about something all day, but if we really want to see that change in anything, right, we just have to take the action. And as long as it's an aligned action.
Yeah. Because greater than my fear of moving forward was my fear of staying behind and staying stagnant. So I would say count those costs. You
Yeah.
know, is your fear bigger than, what's at stake?
Mm.
That's a good question to ask yourself. For me, I was moving forward. I didn't care. I would figure out the finances. I would figure out the time to do it. I was moving forward. So,
Mm.
yeah.
That's so wonderful. That's great advice.
Mm-hmm.
And the last question I have, is there anything else that you feel called to share to everybody watching today?
Oh, trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the gift that you were given, and trust that it's making room for you right now. And that's why you're seeing this. That's why you're hearing this, because it's a call from your own spirit.
Mm,
It's a green light. Yeah.
that's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing about your business, your transformation, your purpose. And it really helps to give people permission too, that even if you don't 100% know your messaging, or you don't 100% even know your purpose, you can still take the action, know that you need to do it, and find that clarity. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think so many people too forget that we do have pivots and changes throughout the years. And sometimes they're like, well, now I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And it's no, you're doing something greater. It's just time for you to embrace it, and time for you to change a little bit of your messaging and being open to all the things coming in. So I'm so happy for you. And thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to hearing more about all the things coming up.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was Melina. She is amazing. And I love her story of her favorite things, but also what really speaks to me too is fear of being visible and kind of hiding a little bit. And I can't post. And now every time I turn around, she's on TV. And that is a massive transformation. So I'm so happy that we got a chance to chat with her. Next up, I'm going to bring up Ashley Fry. Ashley has really had a lot of development in her business, and what I would say, as someone who's watched her grow in the program, she's grounded more into her business and really increased her exposure and visibility as well. So I'm going to add Ashley to the stream. How are you?
I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm good. Thanks so much for being here and chatting with us. And I can't wait to hear more about your story. So I think we'll start in the past. I'd love for you to tell everybody what your business looked like and why you felt called to take Spiritual Business Incubator.
When I started with my own business, I wasn't really sure what to do, but I did start and it was just big. When I started my first month, it was huge. So I didn't know what to do. And I already had this business for 2 years where I just had to figure it out. I was thrown into it. COVID had hit because I just had to do it. I had to figure out how it was going to work. I didn't have a lot of tools. So when SBI came available, I was happy to take it because it really gave me the knowledge on where to start out.
Mm.
Um, Going back to the past, though, when I started out, I started selling crystals and minerals, and it was just an explosion in 2019 with COVID. It was like the new healing. So going up to SBI, I wasn't as spiritual as a person, but getting into the crystals and minerals kind of opened me up to that spirituality. So I started to feel the healing effects from all the rocks that I was around. I like to call them rocks, but I started to feel all the different things, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I started taking the courses with you to kind of get a handle on where to land spiritually. And I've done a lot of pivoting myself, but it's really helped in the long run.
So tell me a little bit about the pivots that you've made, and I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it as an open-ended question. I want to hear what comes up for you.
The biggest part of pivot for me was because before I was this massive wholesaler on Facebook. Basically, I had this big business that kind of came up out of nowhere, and it was just selling things at a cheap price, and I was turning a lot of it over. But through the years of running my business like that, I got to learn the crystal healing on my own and see what the crystals were doing for me and see the different effects of them. I learned Reiki. I started doing some other things. And so I looked at my business, I don't know, it was like a year and a half ago. It was right when I took SBI. And I thought to myself, I said, this is not, this may have been when I started, but this is not what I'm supposed to do. So, here I am with this big, huge business. I didn't know what I was doing. And spiritually, it was time for me to change. It was time for me to start pivoting on how I sold my items. It wasn't so much wholesale. I needed to start giving them purposes and transformational frequencies, because that's what they are. They helped me transform. So it was hard because, business did change and my ego did not like, what it looked like pivoting, and our ego
Yeah.
doesn't. But you kind of had prepared me for that, knowing that pivot is kind of inevitable when you're following your intuition in business. And so I did have a cushion there in many, many different ways taking SBI.
So what does your business look like now? So you are selling crystals online, and what new direction did you decide and land on?
When I started with just a Facebook Live, and I would go live and I would sell. I didn't have a web page. I didn't have the means to kind of go onto other social media. I didn't have an Instagram. I only had a Facebook. I was limiting myself to how I could bring the money in. So that SBI really opened me up to all of the different social medias. It really helped me do the website, because I would have never guessed I could have made a website on my own. And you really gave me the tools to do that. So for where I was doing, basically, I was just selling wholesale. When I learned to do the website and other things, I was able to look at my stock differently with more value in my eyes, because I was like, okay, I can see the transformational magic in A, B, and C. It really opened me up to different avenues there. And the website was really and you helped me brand too. Branding was also a big thing that I had no idea how to step forward into. And you really gave me the confidence there to move forward as well.
I love that. Shout out to Sabila. She's our guest expert in Spiritual Business Incubator, and she walks everybody who takes the training step by step through creating your WordPress website. She gives the templates, and you've got everything you need to create your website. So I'm so glad that that was so valuable for you, Ashley, and of course, the branding as well. But what I heard you say is that you started to align your pricing. So we have a module inside of Spiritual Business Incubator all about pricing. And I heard you say that you started looking at your value system a little differently. Like, wait a minute, I can actually, I see this as worth more to me. And I feel like your value of who you are and your business also kind of grew as well. Like, wait a minute here, I'm underpricing myself, or, wait a minute here, I feel like I can fully step out. So I remember you had a little issue with some visibility and that value system. How did you shift? I know you took the program and the training, but was there a key moment or an aha or a tip that you could share that really helped kind of shift more into more visibility and aligning your pricing? Because you moved into services, right? Not just selling
Yes, I did
products,
do
you
that
moved
too.
into services. And that's vulnerable, going out there and working with people. So tell me how that came about.
Well, I actually took one of your other courses. I did the mediumship with you, and that's what I do offer. I do mediumship and then crystal healing. And when I was looking at my stock before, because I took several courses with you, and I just remember opening up very spiritually and being able to be myself. And before that, I just saw them, okay, I bought it for this, I've got to sell it for this. It was just a basic markup. But then I started, as I opened up spiritually, other avenues started to open up for me, where I saw the value in myself, because I was working too much for the little money when I was doing the wholesale also. So I saw more value in myself and then in my products. And I was just able to boost. But looking at each thing, I was just able to say, okay, well, kind of shorten myself because if I sell it for this, then I know that its quality or the value of this is worth more. Um, and that was a hard part for me because people were used to cheap pricing. Why would they buy from me all of a sudden with me, my price is going up substantially. So it was kind of scary when I pivoted. It's never comfortable when you have to pivot or when you have to realign, but knowing that everything is happening for a positive outcome and knowing that it's for your highest good,
Yeah.
that really helped me.
Mm.
Um, Moving into services were hard for me because you know, some people can feel like mediumship is whatever, and I really had a passion for it. So I loved, providing the service for people. But it's been a little bit harder to get myself out there, you know. But it's having all the different tools, and definitely the social media has really helped me there.
That's good.
I've definitely
Well,
fell into that like the soulmate client
so many
area.
clients. Absolutely. Well, you know what I'm going to say is continue to do the work, right? Continue to listen to those meditations and putting yourself out there. And you've already proven that when you do put yourself out there, you attract your soulmate clients. And the more that you open up and the more that you really be in that authentic place, the more people come to you. Because I do think that so many people who want to start a spiritual business and you pivoted, you were doing wholesale, but you kind of pivoted into the woo, if you will. And so many people are afraid of that. But you've done it so well. And I know that you might still feel like you want to do more of it, but you've done it really well. So I wanted to ask you if you could share with everybody where your business is now and what it looks like.
I'll say this much, numbers are a big thing to me. I love seeing the increase in numbers. So I did an official launch on my webpage in August of 2022. And I went from having like 1 to 2 people a week coming to my website. And now I'm somewhere in the area of anywhere to 5 to 700 a month.
Oh my
So
God.
seeing that kind of increase in that amount of time has really, really been beneficial. And I do keep a watch on that. Ever since I just let myself do what I needed to do and I stopped letting fear get in my way, I've really been able to put myself out there and put my services and the things that I love out there. And it's been amazing. Like it really has grown substantially from, when I pivoted, it basically stopped and restarted.
Mhm.
It was uncomfortable, but it was great, and it's something that we do need to do. Um, so I would say it's amazing now from what it was a year ago, and I would say what I'm getting as results is a great feedback. So I'm really really happy, and I'll say this much: I really love with your course how you can go back in at any time because I'm very
Mhm.
scatterbrained. So I need that to where I can let me come back to this when I can give it my full attention. And that's really helped me as well because if I do have problems, even moving forward in my business, I can take a step back, go back to the program and say, okay, having problems with A, B, or C, let me see, what the best steps are to get me out of this and move forward. So,
Yeah, I love that too. And hopefully you've seen all the new updates that we had inside of the program. So, there's new things as, the world evolves, there's new things coming up too. So I love that. We've got a little dog friend saying hey. So I think that's because I love dogs so much. I did a post today about how much I love dogs. So I'm just going to claim it.
got to be a message, right?
Yeah, right. What were the favorite parts of of the program that we had?
I loved being able to explore with everyone else what my truth was because I
Mm,
did have a very, very hard time expressing my
yeah.
truth and my individuality there for a long time. And being with other ladies in the spiritual business incubator really helped me push me forward because I guess I'm a people person, but also like I kind of keep to myself too because I'm a Cancer. So it really helped me to see everybody else on their journey because I kind of took it in and processed it, and it helped me move forward as well.
Yeah.
So,
I love that too. So, what we're doing this year for Spiritual Business Incubator for everybody watching, we're going to be doing live calls and like Ashley was talking about. And you get together on Zoom, you get to ask me all your questions. And then you also have the training there for you to watch once a week. So you've got that there as well. Well, Ashley, tell us a little bit about where you're headed in your business and any last words of wisdom or advice you would give to somebody that's thinking about it.
What I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking about it, is just do it. Don't worry about what other people think of you. That's not your opinion. Just go. You know, you can make your imprint. We all have our own energy imprint that we have to put out here in this earth because we're here to do a purpose. We're here for a reason. I feel like my business is definitely heading towards crystal healing, and I feel like I'm going to have an informative course coming up in a couple, maybe this year coming, because that's really my passion. And so many people got into stones, but they don't know how to use them. They don't know how to harness that transformational power. So really this year I want to get out there and I really want to make sure that people know how to use all these wonderful gifts from nature that we have to kind of hone in on intuition and get their messages and be able to live life in a positive and uplifting way.
I love that. You know, so many people will think, well, crystals, isn't that woo-woo? Not really with what you were doing, right? It's
No.
more of like there's different segments of people who like to collect crystals, or some people say rocks. And I love how you made that transition to, wait a minute, I'm going to combine the spirituality piece. I'm actually going to do the services. And now you're moving into teaching and giving knowledge to other people. So I love seeing the transformation for your business. I'm going to just ask if there's anything else that you feel called to share.
Let's see. I just, you know, the first thing I saw was wings, and it's like, just take wings, be able to fly, be able to do what you need to do. Because I'll say this much. My favorite quote is, this is your movie, you know, make it a good one. Like, be happy, you know, live this movie every day to the fullest. So that's kind of, you know, I like to look at it that way. It makes it fun for me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you just used your mediumship for
Yeah,
for
Coach.
that little
Yeah,
moment, which is so good. That's such an amazing transformation. And thank you, Ashley, so much. I really appreciate your story. I know this will inspire others, especially for those who were not in the spiritual business area and are thinking about it. They're like, I can't tell everybody, or people are going to look at me a little different. And know that it can be done. And for everybody that's thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do a website, we've got the training. Ashley is proof that you can
Yes, I
create
am
your
proof.
own website and get more exposure and amazing growth that you've been having. You said 500 to 700 people coming to the website a month versus 1 to 2, I think, or was
A
it a
week.
week
It
or
was
a
1
month?
to 2 weeks, so like 10 a
Oh my
month
God.
now. Now we're moving up to that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I will look forward to hearing more about all the other things coming up for you in the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. So we've heard from some of our students inside of Spiritual Business Incubator. If you are wanting to start your own business, or you want to pivot your business like some of our students have, then I'm going to invite you to apply. messengerspirit.com/SBI. You will go to the enrollment page and see everything that's included. I've even broken down what we cover. So we start on January 19th. Applications end on January 18th. And what happens is you'll get a lesson every other week. And then we meet live in between those lessons so that you can ask me all the questions. It is our 6-month program, but just as we've heard our students say, you're going to want to go back. You're always learning as an entrepreneur. This is not a program where you say, oh, I have learned it all. I give you everything you need to turn your life purpose into your business, but you're always learning and experimenting and exploring in your entrepreneurship. So I give you lifetime access to come back, and you get the updates. So if we have new updates, because let's face it, everything's changing, social media changes. There might be a new social media channel that comes up next year. Then we can add it into the program and you can watch it so that you can feel updated and refreshed. And to be honest, I would always revisit my Mentors 101 program over and over, even though I was at a different level, because I would hear something differently. And sometimes we think we know it all, but cycles can repeat themselves. And I always say the same stuff, different level. So you might want to revisit the modules as well. So inside of Spiritual Business Incubator, we have guest experts, because let's face it, I'm not an expert in everything, but I can help you market your business and start your business. But I am bringing in guest experts. You've heard some of the favorite parts of the program from Anna Swee. She is helping you tap into your genius. She has training just to help you do that and help you find your secret sauce. Zafira is a copywriter who helps you with your messaging on your website and your about page. Sabila is our guest expert for our website creation. She teaches you from scratch, gives you everything you need how to create your website. And if you already have a website, then great. The training is superb to go in and edit it. We also have a small business finance expert, Jamie Troll, who's in the program. We have a computer security expert, and we have a Facebook ads expert, a sales call expert. It just goes on and on. So go to messengerspheres.com/SBI to see all the things included inside of the program. And I'd love to see your application come through. We're only going to be opening this up this year. And a lot of times I'll get a question of, well, are you going to do it next year? And my honest answer is, I don't know. I don't plan that far, because I got to make sure my intuition is saying yes and that I'm feeling really good before I launch something. So I can't tell you that I'll do it again next year. All I can say is I hope to, but things change as an entrepreneur. So I have to follow my intuition. So I hope to see you apply. If you have applied and you have said, where's my response? We sent you one. Check your email. So we do have a couple applications we've already sent an email to. And if you haven't received it, reach out to us, check your junk, check your spam. We have replied. messengerspheres.com/SBI. All right. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Happy New Year. And I hope to see you inside the program.